6:02 is your time. A last-minute legal battle between Texas lawmakers and the court systems means one Texas death row inmate's execution is still on hold. But for how long really remains a mystery.
Robert Roberson is accused of killing his 2-year-old daughter more than 20 years ago. He'll have to appear before Texas lawmakers later this afternoon. KVUE's Malia Masamoto has been following this case. And Malia, do we know yet, will he be able to appear in person this morning for this hearing?
Well, Rob and Yvonne, late last week, we heard from Roberson's attorneys who said he would be appearing here in person, but in a new letter that was obtained by the Dallas Morning News from the Attorney General's office, they said he would only be appearing remotely today at the Texas House Committee on Criminal Jurisprudence hearing. Now, state lawmakers made this last-minute subpoena to Roberson just hours before his scheduled execution last week. At the center of Roberson's case is the theory that his daughter died as a result of the shaken baby syndrome back in 2002. Now, those who stand by the conviction say there were other signs of abuse in the case, but those fighting it say since the shaken baby syndrome theory has been debunked, the state's junk science law should force it to be reconsidered. Texas state lawmakers are concerned in Roberson's case, the courts have not been correctly applying this law.
I mean, the man's life literally is hanging in the balance at this very moment. Depending on how this case is ultimately resolved and what we learn Monday, there may be the need for the legislature to take swift, bold, and decisive action to make sure that our laws are not being thwarted by the courts.
In a petition from state lawmakers to the Texas Supreme Court to let Roberson testify before the committee, they wrote that Roberson is the only person who can provide them this unique information about whether or not their law is being applied correctly. Now, Roberson would be the first person to ever be put to death over the shaken baby syndrome diagnosis. But as for what happens after today, that answer is still pretty unclear. State lawmakers told me since all of this is unprecedented, they don't know how long Roberson could be subpoenaed for, how long he'd have to testify in front of this committee. They said it's really going to be just as the day unfolds, figuring out what are those next steps. And again, that hearing starts at noon today at the state capitol. We will have a crew there monitoring that and keeping you updated on anything that develops or changes throughout the day. Live at the state capitol, Malia Masamoto, KVUE News.